not working out, so actually taking that time apart. In terms of your workouts, I mean, you can have a couple workouts that are shorter just from home where you're getting the body moving that way. But then if you do have a couple times where you're in a gym, in an environment where you can do a little bit more, it is always a good mix, and it is worth scheduling the time and planning it out.
Awesome. And how would you stay motivated with that routine once you get into it?
You know what? I think part of it's variety and part of it's results. If you're not sure how to go about either of them, then I think that's where, you know, reaching out or seeking some help from someone that you know or someone that works in the industry can be you know, a huge piece of advice for you as well, just to kind of help plan things out. And back to the second part of that question.
So, like, how can they stay motivated with the routine?
Yeah, variety and results, right? Usually for most people, you know, once they start, if they can just keep consistent and long enough for them to actually start seeing some results, start feeling some differences in terms of their energy levels, that's usually a really good motivator. And if it's not quite doing the trick for you, then that's where I think, you know, taking the time to seek some help from someone else who can actually help you plan out your workouts is going to be the best option.
Wonderful. And for, you know, students or people who are on a budget, they usually don't have much money. So what would you suggest for them?
I would say less towards pizza and alcohol and more towards self-care.
Okay. And do you have any like healthy eating tips for getting healthy with your eating so that you're mixing it all in good and well together?
That can be a very long answer. I guess the short answer would just be trying to have a really well-balanced diet, and just little things like upping your water intake and not eating massive portions at once or all your food at night, just spreading it out during the day, and more home-cooked meals and things like that.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been a pleasure. So if anyone if anyone wants to get into fitness, be sure to drop down to 1011 Upper Middle Road East to One Health Club, and we'll see you soon. Back to you in studio.
Thanks, Alyssa. Each week, we like to ask viewers our question of the day.
Our question today is, how do you incorporate fitness and healthy living into your routine? You can send us your answers, and they could be featured later in the show.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on Twitter or direct message us on Instagram at Your Sheridan TV.
But coming up later in the show, we'll have some tips for meal planning and more of your #millennial problems. We'll be right back with today's headlines. Stay with us. Welcome back to Your Sheridan. Let's head over to Andre Faher now with our top stories in the news.
Stephen Hawking, the world-renowned physicist and cosmologist, died early this morning at his home in Cambridge. He was 76.
I don't think the human race has a moral obligation to learn about space, but it would be foolish and short-sighted not to do so. It may hold the key to our survival.
Hawkins was diagnosed with motor neuron disease at the age of 21 and was given 2 years to live. He went on to study at Cambridge University and changed the world of astrophysics. 1 month after the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School that killed 17 people, students all across the United States are walking out of their own schools to protest gun violence. Students were outside for 17 minutes, one for each person killed at the Florida high school. Students of Cobb County and Atlanta could face disciplinary action, including suspensions, for taking part in the protest. The protest is being led by student organizers who have been calling for change following last month's school massacre in Florida and by years of anger about what they say are inadequate gun laws. Here are some highlights from National Walkout Day in Washington, D.C.
We will accept nothing less than comprehensive gun control. And if it's what it takes, we will shame our national policymakers into protecting us. Not just in schools, but in churches, movie theaters, on the streets, and in the communities of color which are disproportionately devastated by the sickness of gun violence.
Every time the vice-like grip of the NRA on the necks of some of these politicians has succeeded, but this time it won't. You want to know why? It won't. Because we have you. And together, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
Our Congressional Solidarity Walkout is here to say enough is enough. Whether Orlando, San Bernardino, South Carolina, Las Vegas, Newtown, Sutherland Springs, Parkland, city streets, homes across the nation, there's been too much violence, too much heartbreak. The American people overwhelmingly support common sense action to prevent the tragedy of gun violence. 97% of Americans support strengthening background checks, including 97% of gun owners. What more do they need to hear?
A new report out today shows Ontario's healthcare spending is not keeping pace with the demands of a growing and aging population. The Financial Accountability Office says even with the additional $6.9 billion of planned spending, it will not be enough over the next 3 years. The report also says not all of the money announced is being given to help the existing healthcare. More than $1 billion is being spent on pension adjustments, and another $1.5 billion is dedicated to the new young adult OHIP coverage. PC leader Doug Ford says private retailers should be able to sell cannabis. Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne responded saying Ontarians do not want cannabis sold next to candy bars and corner stores. She wants cannabis to stay in government-regulated stores only, and says Ford's statement is reckless. Ontario plans to roll out 40 stores run by the government this summer. That number is expected to increase to 150 by the end of 2020. According to CP24, 223 TTC employees have either been fired or left the company over an ongoing benefits fraud investigation. That number is up from 170 employees just 6 months ago. An investigation was launched in 2014 after the TTC received a tip of false benefit claims. It's alleged employees would make claims for services they never received. Police say the insurance payments were then split among the employees involved. So far, 10 TTC employees have been charged and 4 have pleaded guilty. The family of a BC rock climber has confirmed that Marc-Andre Leclerc and his climbing partner died while trying to scale a new mountain route in Alaska. The party was suspected missing since March 5th, but poor weather conditions hampered search efforts. A pair of fundraisers online has raised over $70,000 for the climber's family. The owner of a Toronto music venue has been charged with sexual assault. Canadian Music Week, an annual festival celebrating Canadian artists, has rescheduled bands that were meant to perform at the venue. Festival manager Dave Henry says the festival is dedicated to providing a welcoming and safe environment. That's all for news. Now back to you in the studio, Sydney.
Thanks, Andre. Earlier, we asked you our question of the day, but we also went to find some answers from students here on campus. So, how do Sheridan students incorporate fitness and healthy living into their routines?
Do a lot of active activities with the kids that I work with. So like we'll play football or hockey, and when I do stuff, I go all out and start deking kids, whatever, kind of to make it fun, get some activity.
Recently, my husband and I have joined with this new company called Sammy and Grammy's Holistic Nutrition. And every Monday she comes to the campus and delivers 6 holistic mason jars of food to me, and it lasts us for the entire week.
Because of a hectic semester, I don't really get a chance to go work out as much as I would like, so try and eat as healthy as I can, like eating fruits and all the healthier alternatives that our cafeteria offers. So yeah, that's how I incorporate my healthy lifestyle.
Coming up, we'll hear from Liam with news and sports. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to your Sheridan. Now over to Liam Rowe with sports.
Thanks, Sydney. Let me tell you, we have a great month of sports coming up. The NCAA's March Madness tournament is back and scheduled to kick off tomorrow. There are 21 Canadians participating this year, with Kentucky forward Shai Gilgeous-Alexander topping the list of Canadians to watch. The 6'6" point guard is the highest rated Canadian prospect for the upcoming NBA draft. You can catch the Madness coverage on TSN. The Toronto Raptors extended their winning streak to 9 games last night with a win over the Brooklyn Nets. Over the course of the streak, the Raps are outscoring their opponents by an average of 13 points. The Raps will be back in action tomorrow as they square off against the Indiana Pacers. The Toronto FC have advanced to the Champions League semifinals despite a 3-2 loss against the Tigers yesterday. The final combined score was 4-4 over the 2 legs, but Toronto advanced on the goals away rule. The Toronto Leafs are back in action tonight as they host the Dallas Stars at the Air Canada Centre. The Leafs won the only meeting between the two teams this season, 4-1, back on January 25th. With 13 games remaining in the season, the Leafs are currently sitting 3rd in the Eastern Conference. It's Day 7 at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Paralympics, and Canada is bringing home the hardware. Canada is currently 6th in the medal standings with a total of 16, which includes 5 golds, 1 silver, and 10 bronze. That's all for sports. Back to you, Tyler and Sydney.
Thanks, Liam. We apologize for not having our tips on meal planning for now, but we'll have that up later on our website, the Sheridan Sun.
For now, I can give you a couple tips that Greg did give me in our interview.
Oh, so what are some tips you have for healthy meal planning?
So I spoke to my friend Greg Liao. He's a third-year Bachelor of Musical Theater student, so he is crazy busy all the time. And a couple things that he does to prep his meals is first, he bought a bunch of these containers off of Amazon for super cheap. And every week he plans his meals for the week, so he cooks frozen chicken, frozen vegetables, boils rice and chickpeas, and that's his meals for the week. It's packed full of proteins, he gets his vegetable servings, and he has snacks in between that are healthy as well, like granola bars and fruits. So it really didn't seem that difficult when I sat down with him.
It doesn't sound a lot. Like, you can do your meals in advance, and then you have them ready for the rest of the week and set to go.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Along with that, each week we want to know your hashtag millennial problems.
Eliza Latta says, when you accidentally like someone's Instagram photo from 37 weeks ago, hashtag millennial problems.
I'm very guilty of doing that.
At Tower Princes says, didn't get paid on time. Gotta hope there's enough to get me home and watch at your Sheridan TV. Hashtag millennial problems.
Allie Murray says, when your Wi-Fi isn't working so you can't watch Netflix and you don't know what to do with your time. So relatable, Allie.
Oh no! Chels Verne says, when someone doesn't text you back within a nanosecond. That's so fast.
It's rough. Shane Roberts says, when you have no money and have to choose between Netflix and Spotify Premium. Hashtag millennial problems.
I can't pick between those.
No, it's tough.
Sam Scott says, when you complain about spending money on a textbook, but drop a small fortune on the new Nintendo gaming system. If you have a hashtag millennial problem, we want to know. You can send it to us on Twitter or direct message us on Instagram using @YourSheridanTV.
After the break, Talene will be here with your entertainment news, and we'll find out who's got the weather.
And stick around as our team tackles a fitness competition.
Don't go away. Welcome back to Your Sheridan.
We're now heading over to Talene Laschiavo, who has our news and entertainment.
Thanks, Tyler and Sydney. The first full-length trailer for Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald has been released. The film, starring Eddie Redmayne, Johnny Depp, and Jude Law, is the highly anticipated sequel to Harry Potter spin-off Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The trailer, however, has been met with an online uproar over a possible plot hole. The first scene shows a group of witches and wizards operating inside the grounds of Hogwarts. That, according to the novels, is supposed to be blocked. The film is set for a November 16th release. Staying with Harry Potter, this Friday we'll see the first preview of the New York Broadway show Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It is based on the last installment in the book series. The play follows Harry's son as he navigates his first year at Hogwarts. The official opening date is April 22nd. Miley Cyrus's 2013 song We Can't Stop is the focus of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. The song was her first single from her career-changing fourth album, Bangers. Jamaican songwriter Michael May, who goes by the stage name Florgon, says that Cyrus's hit song closely resembles his 1988 single titled We Run Things. May is reportedly seeking a trial by jury, as well as a halt to sales and performances of Cyrus's song. Osheaga Music and Arts Festival has announced its star-studded lineup for 2018. The festival will feature Arctic Monkeys, Florence and the Machine, and Travis Scott as headliners. Other big names performing at the festival include the likes of Ya Ya Yaz, James Blake, and Khaled. The Montreal-based festival will take place from August 3rd to 5th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Sheridan will be hosting a St. Paddy's Day themed pub night on Thursday. Held at the Marquee at Trafalgar campus, this popular pub night will see We'll have green beer, contests, and even confetti at midnight. If this sounds like your kind of vibe, be sure to check it out. The event starts at 9 p.m. and admission is $5. That's all we have for entertainment. Back to you, Sydney and Tyler.
Thanks, Talene. We here at your Sheridan News team enjoy our personal fitness, so we decided to have a small competition this morning.
Oh yes, we did. Our own Liam Rowe hosted a contest today at the Trafalgar campus's Athletic Center. Let's take a look.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Sheridan's Battle of the Bikes. We have our 3 hosts today, Sydney, Talene, and Tyler, who will be competing in a Battle of the Fittest challenge to see who can outlast another one on the bike.
I feel pretty confident. I think I'm obviously the best out of all the hosts.
Sydney thinks that she's the best, but in reality, I'm the best. I'm going to crush them both.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Ready, set, and go. Sydney's coming out strong there, pretty good form. She does not look tired one bit, she's actually smiling.
It's fun.
Tyler is just straight jamming the tunes. He means business today, ladies and gentlemen. It's looking pretty even thus far with Sydney, Talene, and Tyler both going pretty strong. Uh-oh, looks like Sydney decides that she's had enough and she is out of the contest with Talene and Tyler remaining. It is the survival of the fittest here as the 2 remaining contestants, Tyler and Talene, are duking it out for the #1 spot in the Your Sheridan Challenge. Talene looks to be getting a little tired. And you know what? That's it. She's done. She is halfway off the seat. Tyler is your champion. And I don't think he knows what's going on. Tyler, can we have a minute of your time there? Tyler.
What?
Tyler, you
What?
won. It's over. You won. You beat,
I won?
You beat Talene and Sydney. They fell off and passed out.
Shoot. Yeah, they did.
Let me ask you, Tyler, how does it feel to know that you just beat 2 of the toughest competitors that share in college?
Well, you know, the game is only worth playing if you're playing by the rules and you got great competitors to go against. Of all the other hosts that are Talene and Sydney, I'm glad Talene and Sydney were my 2 opponents today.
Now, what are you going to do now that you're a champion?
Oh, I'm going to get a nice big shiny medal, and I'm going to show it off to my sister, who is stronger than me, and say, see, I can also win medals.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Collins can also win medals.
Well, now, Sydney, it's time to ask my favorite question.
What's that, Tyler?
That question is, who's got the weather?
My name is Mitchell Edgley, and I've got the weather. Spring is just around the corner, but with winter weather is not finished yet. This week will be a little chilly, but hopefully we will be changing into our spring attire in no time. The temperature today is 0, but feels like -6 with mostly clouds. Thursday will be +3 with mixed precipitation of rain and snow. Friday will bring the warmer weather. It will be 0 and mostly sunny. Continuing through the warm weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 5 degrees, with both days being mostly sunny. Friday will finally looking a little into next week, the temperature will drop to -1, but with a mix of sun and snow. The winter weather isn't finished yet, but at least we will be seeing more sun. Back to you in the studio.
So, Tyler, what's trending this week?
Well, there's a lot of things that are trending on Twitter, today especially. The first of which is a story from Netflix's popular series, The Crown, which stars Matt Smith and Claire Foy. Have you seen the show?
I haven't seen the show, but I did hear about this controversy.
Yes.
So the National Post reported today that Claire Foy was paid less than Matt Smith.
That's true.
Despite playing the literal queen of the show.
For those of you who haven't seen it, the 2 stars of the show, Claire Foy and Matt Smith, play the 2 lead parts of Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh. The Queen of which being a far more prominent character because she is the Queen who wears the crown.
Of course.
Yes, but Matt Smith, even though he's more famous from BBC's Doctor Who, he's getting paid a lot more than Claire, who plays the main character.
Which is confusing.
Yeah.
Suzanne Mackey, who is a producer from the show, has now reported that going forward, no one gets paid more than the Queen.
Let's move on. There's some storms in the northeast that have been hitting the U.S. and Canada. There are 51,000 homes in Nova Scotia without power this morning. Environment Canada says there's up to 40 centimeters of snow in New Brunswick. And Newfoundland is getting winds of 110 kilometers an hour. We hope everyone in those areas is staying warm, staying safe, and staying inside.
That is absolutely crazy. And actually, we came across a video today from the Washington Post of a lawyer in Boston.
Oh, yes.
Dressed in drag as Elsa from Frozen, pushing a police wagon out of the snow.
Look at that. That is a courageous Queen Elsa.
The lawyer's name is Jason Triplett, and he said that he bought the costume as a joke and wore it to the bar to prank his friends.
I don't know if I would have the courage to help a wagon like that.
I don't know either.
Look how hard he's working. Finally today is a special holiday. It's
really
Pi
is.
Day.
That's P-I, not P-I-E.
No, true. Pi meaning it's the mathematical constant used in geometric functions about circles. The number 3.14, like today's day, March 14th, 314.
But even though we're speaking about math pie, I would really like to have some food pie.
I don't think we can just have food pie because we feel like eating it in the middle of the show, Sydney.
Oh.
That's not really how pie works.
Oh, Talene!
But your wish.
What?
Look what we have here.
Do you guys have pie?
Wow.
What? Can we have this pie?
Oh.
Let's have pie.
Oh my goodness.
Insane.
Talene, what kind of pie is this?
So this is bumbleberry pie. So it's got apple, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries.
So this seems to be a weird treat for a healthy eating show.
Oh,
yeah.
But wait, this
There's
is
more.
actually a vegan pie.
It's vegan?
Oh, it's vegan.
Wow.
So there's no animal products, no dairy.
Here, I'll start cutting this.
Amazing.
Let's go.
And this
I'm
is
ready
probably
for this.
pretty healthy with all the fruits that are inside of it too. This looks fantastic.
But tastes as good as it looks.
All right, well, we are going to enjoy some of this fantastic pie. But in the meantime, thank you for joining us today on Your Sheridan TV, a show made by the students for the students.
Next week, we will be looking at how to live on a student budget, something I think we can all really relate to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If you have any ideas on themes you want